What I love about the IMF is it's not political. It's like CNBC. It's just driven by the economies and the markets and sort of improving countries' fundamentals. So given your surveillance capabilities, what are we seeing for the global economy? Are we slowing down? And if so, how much?
Well, the first thing we see is a world economy that has proven to be more resilient than we feared some time ago. In fact, the last 2 years, global GDP is almost a percentage point higher than we thought it would be in 2022. So we gained 6.7% real GDP in these last 2 years.
Is it because of the resilient US economy?
Two reasons. One, the resilience of the US, and the resilience of the US comes from the fact that the US is an innovative and highly open to entrepreneurship economy. The only one of the advanced economies that is gaining productivity and that is driving growth. Because the US is energy independent, one of the problems of Europe is they're not energy independent, and that hits them very strongly, but also because the US has abundant labor supply. And I know immigration is a very sensitive issue politically, but from economic standpoint, the fact that both high-skilled and low-skilled labor is available in the US to you guys makes a difference in terms of economic performance. And the second reason we are resilient is because quite a number of emerging market economies over the last decades, especially since the global financial crisis, have built strong fundamentals, and they're performing much better than they did in prior crisis situations. So where do we see the economy going? We do expect soft landing. Inflation is going down. Growth, we actually upgraded for this year to 3.2%. And we think that cuts, although no more synchronized, are going to be coming. We do worry about two things, Sarah. One, medium-term growth prospects globally are quite disappointing. We project around 3% global growth year after year after year after year. This is about almost a percentage point less than before the pandemic, the decades before the pandemic. And this slow growth means that people would be disappointed. You see them, families worrying about their financial futures. Unless we get growth up, productivity up, growth up, we would have people on the street. And the second thing we worry about a lot is divergence.
Yeah.
Now we see within groups among advanced economies, divergence, among emerging markets, divergence, and of course, poor countries are falling further behind. For the first time in the last 3 decades, poverty is up, hunger is up, and that ultimately, of course, affects the lives of people, but ultimately it affects global security. You know, if you look at the last 30 years, what have we achieved? The world economy tripled. Emerging markets and developing economies quadrupled. Rich countries doubled. So we are all better off. So protecting a degree of integration that works for everybody, and by the way, as you said, Sarah, has an anti-inflationary impact, because you push costs up, what do you think is going to happen to prices? They go up.
They go up, and it hurts growth. It makes no sense. How does AI disrupt all of this further? Because you guys uniquely have done a lot of work and analysis on what AI is going to do to economies, to workers, to small countries, to big countries. What are the conclusions, and how fast is it coming?
Well, the conclusions are 3. One, it is already hitting us, and labor markets are going to see major impact from artificial intelligence. In advanced economies, 60% of jobs would be impacted, 30% enhanced, 30% shrunk or gone. In low-income countries, much less. Second conclusion, it is our best chance to see productivity injection, but to benefit from it, we need strong fundamentals. Digital infrastructure, human capital, investing in skilling and reskilling people. We need innovation to turn into businesses across the board, not to be concentrated in a very small number of very powerful companies. And we need ethics and regulation. All of this has to be done. And the third conclusion we draw out of this is if we are to go into slow, you ask about the future, we don't project a recession, but if we slip into recession, the likelihood of AI deployment to lead to massive loss of jobs is very high. When there is recession, when there is good time, people invest in technology, but they don't really massively cut jobs. When there is bad time, job cuttings become a very massive response to bad times. So we have to think ahead and make sure that artificial intelligence doesn't add to inequality in societies within and across countries, but that we are more prepared for that. So we have AI preparedness index. We rank countries at the top in that comprehensive way. At the top, Singapore, Denmark, United States.